Hey guys, it's Kathy. I hope you're doing well. So, we're not going to get done with this trial today, but we will tomorrow. And I know we don't have a stream tomorrow, but we will. Alright, I'm going to have a stream tomorrow. I don't care. I'm going to do it. Just to finish this trial. So, normally we would not have a stream Wednesday morning. But tomorrow I'm going to run a stream so that we can get to the end of the trial. We do not have the jury verdict. I know the jury verdict. I just don't have the jury verdict. So I'll let you. They didn't do the sentencing yet, or they didn't in this piece, or if there is a sentencing. Oops. Oh well. Alright, I just gave away the ending, but that's okay. That's okay. It's fine. So we will have a stream tomorrow morning to finish the testimony, and then no stream the next day, and no stream again until Sunday night. But here, let's continue the trial. We're gonna see in that TV. You see it on the screen, the TV in the top left with a great big gigantic glare on it. That's the video footage we're going to get to see today. Here we go.
All right, we are back in the courtroom on 24 CR 288. All parties are present back before the court. Ms. Bischoff or Ms. Turner, is there anything that the court needs to address before we bring the jury back in?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Kennedy?
No, Judge.
All right. Then we will go ahead and let our bailiffs know. Thank you. Turn my camera off.
I wonder if Judge Swan's first name is Bella.
Yeah, I think it'll get confusing.
She's like, don't kill my feet right now because of my injury.
So much for lunch. Delicious free sandwich.
Disgust what he's doing.
Thank you. Everyone can be seated. The jury is back in the courtroom. I hope everyone had a good lunch. I appreciate you being patient with a little bit of a longer lunch. It will be a busy afternoon, but we'll look at a restroom break about 3 o'clock this afternoon. If for whatever reason folks need an additional time, feel free to pass a note to our bailiff. Raise your hand between
You guys chat, don't get bathroom breaks.
witnesses, anything like that, we can accommodate sooner if we need to. I completely understand. Sometimes those things are outside of our control. So with that, I will ask that our lieutenant returns to the witness stand.
Hello.
Lieutenant, do you understand that you are still under the same oath? That's okay. You can be seated. Do you understand that you are under the same oath that the court gave prior to the lunch recess?
I do.
Your witness, Ms. Bischoff.
Thank you, Your Honor. And I do believe I have the exhibit 125 back on the screen.
All right. Can you just, for the record, Ms. Bischoff, indicate where we stopped at and where we are starting again so we're clear for the record?
Yes, Your Honor, we are starting at 9 minutes and 35 seconds. This is where we left on the break. There's 25 minutes and 25 seconds left in this video.
Of exhibit 125. All right. Go ahead, Ms. Bischoff.
And again, Lieutenant Lesser, if there's anything significant that you see while watching this video, please either point it out to us or ask me to stop it.
Sure.
Oh yeah, that's much better. He does provide a little commentary.
That's the cellmate once again who's entering the cell. Manzanares?
Lieutenant, can you not see it on your monitor there?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right.
Then obviously Manzanares, he exited again. I'd like to also point out, you have inmate Gutierrez standing up here in this corner. He was one of the ones that was sitting at the table at the very beginning of the incident.
We cannot see. We can see a little bit. No, JK, we have to see this great big encyclopedia
Gutierrez went
rack.
back over with Manzanares.
Instead, we're looking at books and pens.
Exiting. And then Gutierrez is exiting the pod now. Yeah, Manzanares still up top. Appears to me that they were both checking, frequently checking on Little Bear. And then Manzanares exiting. Then you have them entering once again. and exiting.
Margaret and Salty are here. Hi, guys. I don't think I'm giving a spoiler because I don't think we're going to get to this. There's a piece of testimony we're not going to see where his cellmate, the guy, little bear, Littlefoot, his cellmate was like in the room. So after this happened, his cellmate for the next 30 minutes or so before the guards were called was just like hanging out in the room. He leaves. He calls a couple other prisoners to come in slowly. They go in, they leave. He calls some more people in. They leave. He's just walking around doing whatever. And then, like 30 minutes later, he decides to call the guards.
Yeah, Gutierrez and Manzanares entering again. Now they're leaving. Coming back in.
Texas always has the highest number of prisoners that die in their prison each year. Thought it'd be Georgia. Georgia's not
Believe
even
again.
close. Georgia's not even on the top 5. Alabama's the top per capita. Then Louisiana, then Mississippi, then Oklahoma, then Tennessee, and West Virginia. I thought it'd be Georgia. California might have the largest number of inmates. I thought they did. Let's ask.
There's Manzanares and Gutierrez again coming in.
Texas does have. You're right, Kelly. I was wrong. Texas has the most. California's second.
So that's when they had just notified staff that about Little Bear and that last time that they had entered. And now that's when staff is their first arrival, the first responding.
It looks like, though. So, Texas, you guys have 133,000 state prisoners, but you can hold
So they
220.
had called for full first responders from that initial officer, and that's when other staff are going to start to show up.
225,000. So that's good. That means your jails aren't, overpopulated. I think Louisiana has an issue with that.
Another staff member. So more staff will be arriving, as well as calling for medical first responders, of course. And you'll see medical staff come in as well. Here's medical. Staff members securing the scene, making sure all the doors are shut, looking for any other. Housing supervisor or supervisor, custody control supervisor come in right there. Other
Thank you, V.
supervisors coming in.
Thank you, thank you. You were right, Monica, and now you're not anymore, but you were. He got 35 years.
I believe at this time is when that supervisor is actually calling for an ambulance. Because of the severity of the injuries.
All I know is if this guy is found guilty of this, if he's found guilty, then it's mandatory life sentence. I know, V. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I told my boss cut down my hours, and I'm cutting down the streams just for a little bit. I have to. It'll be all right. We'll be back to normal soon. There's this nice little red pickup truck for sale down the road too that we're thinking of getting for my son. So I won't have to drive him back and forth every day. So if his roommate, cellmate would have gotten help right away, I wonder what would have happened. I mean, prisons don't have the greatest medical care right now. Terry's normal, right, Terry? I need an M&M room. There's peanut M&Ms, there's regular M&Ms, there's the caramel M&Ms. I need a whole room full of M&Ms. I did say that.
Those are supervisory staff once again at the bottom.
Oh man. So I gotta tell you a story. Guys, I met a real live, was it Michael McDowell? No, not Michael McDowell. Oh my gosh, what was his name? Alright, anyway. I went to I went to Barnes and Noble the other day because I had like 3 hours to kill. I dropped off my daughter and I didn't start work until 11:30. I dropped her off at 7:50 a.m. So I go to Barnes and Noble, and in our Barnes and Noble bookstore, we have this little a tiny area with chairs and tables, and they have this Starbucks, a mini Starbucks in it. Okay? But the problem is, with all the tables and chairs, there's only one outlet in between these two tables. I needed the outlet to work, and this crazy lady got the other outlet. So she gets there first. She takes the bigger table, which is fine. I'll take the little table. And she plugs her stuff in. And as soon as I go to plug my computer in, she starts right away. I don't know her. I don't. But she starts about how she's pro se. And they took her son, and her husband's the abuser, and she needs justice, and it costs $8,000, and she's a child care worker for the last 30 years, but she's unemployed, so she can't hire a lawyer. And she was going on about Jesus. she was going on about corruption and conspiracies against her and how abusive he was to her. And me being me, I kept it going. And of course I tried my best with her to be like, don't go pro se. You can't go pro se. It's not worth it. You're not gonna make it. Not that mattered to her at all. She was not interested in getting her son back. She was interested only in slamming him and the corruption and the judicial process and everything. And I'm trying my hardest to pull her back. I said, none of that matters. I said, why do you keep talking about all of that? None of that matters. So you have to do what the judge says, Oh, but I can't work with it wasn't a social worker. That's not the word she used. Oh, she was court ordered to family therapy, but the therapist is against her, and the husband lies, and now the therapist is making her look her son in the eye when she talks to him, and she says that's ridiculous. The therapist hates her, and the not the social worker, but I can't remember what she called it, so I'll say, and the social worker's drunk, and the social worker isn't helping, and I'm like, listen, you have to just do what the judge tells you to do. But in my head the whole time I'm thinking, please do not let this lady have custody of her kid. Please do not get a lawyer. Please continue pro se, because she was crazy. It was so great. I spoke with her for like 2 hours. 2 hours I sat there and spoke with her because I got to say everything that I want to say when we watch these hearings. It was Michael McDowell, right? Michael McDowell? Crazy, just absolutely crazy. It was amazing. It was such a good 2 hours for me. Guys, go to Barnes & Noble more often. Michael McDonald. So I worked with a Michael McDowell for 2 decades when I was at Millersville. Michael McDonald was his name. Colleen? It was great. Then I was at work. I got another story no one will understand. Maybe Micah will understand, but I don't think so. You know who would have understood? It hurt my heart because I'm at work the other day and something happened, and I'm like, you know what? Bren would giggle. Bren would think this is funny. And I don't think anybody in chat will. And I don't think anybody in chat will understand. But we have these black napkins at work. They're cloth. We roll the silver in them. So every shift I wash the napkins so that we can re-roll the silver. And then every time I do laundry, I clean out the dryer vent because that's what a responsible person freaking does. Sorry, I'm fighting with my cat. Me and my cat had some fights. So I'm cleaning out the dryer vent, and a whole piece of corn falls out. And then I think of Bren and start giggling. Miss Bren, wish Bren would come back. If you guys understand why I started giggling, let me know. If you think you understand.
They're bringing Little Bear out on the backboard to carry him down and put him on the gurney.
No, it's because we can't digest corn. Rinse and repeat.
They're strapping him into the gurney. And at this time, they're taking him out of the pod and unit over to medical.
I don't have any further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Cross-examination, Mr. Canny.
There is, Judge. Could we switch to my HDMI cord?
Sure. Have it on yours. It's strange because I can see, give me a second.
Tested it earlier.
We're
Okay.
good. There we go. Can I, real quick, before you do anything? Oh, no, okay. All right, we're trying to mess with the monitor that's in front of our witness to see if we can't get what's displayed in front of the witness, and normally it works. I don't know what's going on with it right now. Go ahead.
What, is that TV not close enough, Judge, to him? He needs the monitor. Is the TV too tiny?
Go ahead, Mr. Kenny.
Thank you. Lieutenant, I want to sort of go through several sort of critical points here. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I'll be stopping it. I'll be referring to the time in the upper right-hand corner. That's
Okay.
military time?
Yes,
Okay, so this would be about 5:09:22.
that is correct.
Okay, Mr. Caldera, Mr. Pino, and Gutierrez are still at the table?
That is correct.
Okay, I'm going to just play for a sec there. And at this point, it's about 17:09:42. We're seeing them head back to cell 8.
Yes,
This judge would be gentle
It
with
appears
him.
they both go in about 17:09:50 and close the door. Right.
correct.
Okay.
Yes,
And I want you to focus up from the stairway. If you just take the stairway up and look at this point here,
mm-hmm.
we don't see anything, any lights or flashing or shadows or anything at that point other than just a still light here.
That is correct.
They went in at about 17:10 or 5:10:50.
You can kind of see some light
You see a little light.
flickering there.
Okay.
Yeah, see, then it's completely,
Now we see
both of them exiting.
Mr. Caldera come out, and when it opens, you see more light coming from inside, don't you?
Yes, because as the door opens, the light can come through.
Okay. So we see him exit. It was actually about 17:10:30 that he came out, right?
Okay,
And we start to see him heading down the stairs here. It's about, I'm just going to speak to the seconds. It's about 35.
seconds.
Yeah. He's down the stairs. And now if we go back up to this point, while Mr. Pino is still in there, we see that the door was left open and we see this light coming from within the cell.
Yes,
And if we watch that point, we start seeing shadows.
yep,
And we see something going up and down.
yep.
And it's now 21 seconds later that we see Mr. Pino exit.
That's correct.
Okay. And as we see him coming down the stairs, we see him putting something in his pants or putting at least his hand in his pants.
Yes,
I'm going to flash forward here. Now we're at about 17:12:45, and that's when we see Mr. Manzanares go back to the cell.
yes,
He appears to go in and close it.
Yes.
He's actually stays in there for some period of time, over a minute.
Yes.
At about 14:08, we see him come out of the cell.
Correct.
Now, assuming he had seen a roommate injured or in distress at that point, what would have been the quickest way for him to summon help at that point?
Well, it's a little weird in prison. A lot of guys don't want to be labeled as a snitch.
I understand that. That's not my question. Just
So
assuming
the quickest way to summon for help would be to go over to that little intercom box and get the staff members' attention.
Okay, so you would have run down and gone over there and used it. That would have taken 5 seconds, maybe?
Yes.
Okay. Now, not wanting to be a snitch, you'd have to assume that he knew something had happened. There'd been an assault and he knew about it.
Correct.
If he had just found his roommate seizing, there'd be no reason to worry about being a snitch.
Right.
He doesn't go downstairs and use the intercom. He goes over and chats with the guys on the corner, or on the rail there. This is at about 16.
Correct.
Okay.
I'm going to put the screen back the way it was because I need to go downstairs for a minute, and I'm scared that they'll move the camera, and then you guys will just
Can we
see
see him go
nothing.
back to his cell?
That's correct. It looks like he came out, talked with some individuals, and
And actually another individual goes over with him?
yes.
Okay, and that was an unknown black male?
Yes.
Were you ever able to identify
enough.
who that
Right
person
back.
was?
No.
He re-enters the cell and that other black male sort of appears to go in or hangs out towards the outside of it.
Right.
Now they both come back out.
Yeah, they immediately exit.
They go down the stairs. And just for the record, it's about 17:15:02.
Yes.
That's where that intercom is.
Yes.
And that's where he could have called for help.
We could have called there. There's the staff office that's directly outside of the pod and then outside of the Sally port.
Okay, right there.
Yeah. Over.
He doesn't go do that.
Nope.
Now at about 7:15:18, we see him just chatting with some guys at the foot of the stairs.
Yeah, he's talking with more guys, and it kind of, whatever he's saying is getting the attention of the rest of the individuals, it appears, because they're all looking over.
Okay. See him kind of head up to the shower.
Yes.
So he's right in front of the shower. Did you see anybody else up there?
I don't, it appears to me that there potentially could be somebody, but I can't say with 100% certain.
But it appears he sort of hangs out by the shower for a while there.
Yeah, that he was talking to an individual. That's what it appears.
Okay.
Mr. Kiani, just, I want to make sure the jury's getting the most out of this witness's testimony in entirety. I do, and I'm letting the parties know all together, I do have a laser pointer if you need this witness to point out anything on the screen too, if the parties need to use that. So
I'm trying to use my little thing there, but I appreciate it. If
parties can do whatever they want to do.
What do you-
It's available for use. All right.
at about 17, 16, 10, he's coming back down the stairs.
Yes.
Now he goes over to inmate Ortiz's cell.
Okay.
Is that right?
I don't know if that's Ortiz's offhand.
But that's Ortiz who comes out?
I don't recall.
Okay. Now they both head up to the cell 8, and this is at about 7:16:44,
Yes.
and they both go inside. Is that right?
Yes.
And we see whoever the other inmate was leave, and Mr. Manzanares go back
That's correct.
at about 17:14.
Yeah, then you said that was Ortiz. He proceeds to put a white shirt on and then leave the pod immediately.
Okay.
You can kind of see some movement right up there.
Okay. At 17:50, he's going to head down the stairs again.
Yep, that's him walking down now.
Looks in the same cell where he was.
That looks like maybe he was looking for that individual that walked out. You said was Ortiz.
Back up to the cell at about 17:30.
Yes. And he exits.
About 17:19.
Correct.
Never were able to figure out who was talking to at the shower.
No, sir.
You could sort of see a head there for a second.
Yeah, you can kind of see.
And we see him back over at the left at the rail.
And he's talking with Gutierrez.
Okay. Just to stop, Gutierrez is actually the one who let Caldera and Pino in the pod.
Yeah, he lived in the pod. Caldera and Pino did not live in the pod.
Now Gutierrez actually heads down first to the cell,
Yep,
followed by Manzanares.
correct.
They go in at about 17:20:35.
Yep.
Looks back out at about 17:20:54.
Yes. Appears to me they keep checking in the cell.
Gutierrez leaves the pod. Manzanares stays at the top of the stairs.
Correct.
He's left the pod.
Correct. Manzanares and Gutierrez are both out of the pod at this time.
And if they were outside there, what would have been the quickest way to notify staff?
Well, there's a staff member directly above in the control center
Okay.
for the ABC control. There's a grate right through so they can talk to them accordingly. That's where they pass kites and whatnot. Now, if they exited out, then they could go to the staff office and try to talk with staff, but right there is where the control center staff is.
Right outside the door.
Correct. Right above. If you see the top windows, that's the control center.
Okay. I'm going to fast forward to when they come back in.
There's Gutierrez and Manzanares.
At 17:25:35,
Correct.
back up to the cell.
Yep. Now they're exiting, walking down the stairs.
Exit again about 17:26:35.
Yep. Comes back in.
And that's with Ortiz this time.
Okay. And then there's Manzanares. So you have all three.
They're all to that cell off to the left.
Correct.
I'm back. Did I miss anything? Super interesting. Okay, I just read Miko's comment, so apparently not. I did not miss anything. Super interesting. I love coffee, Bobby.
And Gutierrez go out again at about 17:28.
Correct. That looks like them talking with the staff up top.
So your best estimate would be this was the point that staff was notified.
Potentially.
We see staff come in about a minute or two later.
Yes.
There was at least about 16 or 17 minutes there from the time that he first went in the cell to the point that he notified staff.
That is correct.
I have no other questions, Judge.
You redirect.
Yes, Your Honor. Just to clarify a few things that you mentioned in cross-examination, there was a phrase used, "let in the pod." How does someone get let into a pod in these, in this facility?
You know, if the inmate was to hold the door open, you know, wait, and staff are trying to watch all the different inmate movement and whatnot, and they expect them to secure it, but if you have someone that doesn't normally work in that area, there is that potential that they could be holding that door, keeping it from being secured. And someone could, you know, that's not supposed to be, could come in.
Who normally controls those doors?
Staff,
Okay, is that up in the control center?
correct.
And I believe you used the phrase ABC control. What does that mean?
So ABC control, that control center up here, they're in charge of A pod, B pod, which is like that. So there's 3 pods and they all look exactly the same. And that control center runs and monitors all of the inmates and the exterior doors to come in.
So how many people are working up in that control center?
One staff.
Bobby, you might be right on this one. Denisha, it's hard to hear the decaf word so early in the morning. It's not right. It's not natural.
For all three, A, B, and C pod?
Correct.
Okay. And then you use the phrase pass kites. What does that mean?
So a kite, it's correspondence, written correspondence. Usually it's a yellow square, small piece of paper that says audience with, it has the date, and the inmate is allowed to, you know, basically put down of what their issue or whatever, you know, audience with whatever staff member.
And is that how they communicate with staff?
Well, not regularly, no. So that's for like, say that they want to meet with their case manager to, you know, get a grievance form or to talk about parole planning or to anybody, you know, staff member, maybe to recreation for a job or to property to set up property appointment or to the mail room to schedule some mail.
And I believe you were asked if this was 16 or 17 minutes from the time that Manzanares was in the cell to the time that you believe he requested help. Is that correct?
Yes.
Was that surprising to you? That it took that
Took that long? No.
Why not?
Because inmates, the biggest thing is they don't want to be labeled as a snitch. So to me, in my opinion, what I see is that Manzanares and Gutierrez both appeared to me as startled and concerned, and they kept checking on the individual. And I think that, in my opinion, for them to keep going back and back, you know, keep going there and coming back and going there, and then talking to other individuals in the pod, maybe seeing like how to handle a situation.
Would it be normal for an inmate to snitch on themselves?
No. Not always, no.
In this case, was Manzanares ultimately and Gutierrez ultimately the ones who got help from staff?
Yes.
And I wanted to just go back through the video, Your Honor, if I can just have the USB.
Just let me know when you're ready.
I am ready. Hopefully.
Oh, sorry, that's on me.
Ooh. All right, and not to go over the whole video again, but in this beginning portion, I want to talk about what you see right from when you see Pino and Caldera walking into this pod.
Okay,
So let us know when you see them specifically.
okay. There's Gutierrez at the door. There's Caldera. There's Pino.
And was Caldera wearing sunglasses?
Yes. Look, Caldera talked with Pino and now he's talking with Gutierrez.
Okay, I just paused it at 57 seconds. And right there, did you see any physical contact between any of those 3 inmates?
Yeah, in my opinion, you know, with like let's go. Like
And
hitting him.
who made that gesture?
Caldera to Pino.
And that was at 1 minute and 17 seconds of the video.
And you got Gutierrez wanting to go up and it looks like he tells him stay back.
And when you say tells him to stay back, who do you believe he's telling to stay back?
Gutierrez. Because then Gutierrez will immediately go over to the pod door and try to get it unsecure so that it stays open.
And then defense asked you to watch specifically in this portion, the shadows on the wall.
Mhm.
Are you able to see any shadows while the door is closed?
Not so much. You could see a little bit of light. In my opinion, it looks like a little bit of light is coming through.
And can you just point out then when you see that change?
Oh, right there. Right there. Right there. 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 It's continuous. There. Now it's completely covered.
And are you able to see more, this is at 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Are you able to see more of the light now?
Absolutely. The door's open, so the light is being allowed to shine against there.
And are you aware of where Mr. Little Bear was found in the cell?
Offhand, no, I wasn't. I don't recall.
And then how deep do these cells go?
I think, what is it, 10 feet deep? Right about.
Okay.
I could be, it's right approximation.
And so now right now, who do we see on the stairs?
Caldera's walking down?
Is the door still open for cell 8?
Yes.
Okay.
He's immediately trying to get out. There's Pino leaving.
And does he shut the door on his way out?
Well, it looks like it closes. I don't know if it's completely closed or not.
And After this time frame, did you ever see in this video Pino and Caldera, kind of in these two interactions where they go up this first time and then they go up the second time after this? At any point, do you see them come back into this pod?
No,
Did you at any point see Mr. Caldera bring soup to Mr. Little Bear's cell?
no.
You a little bit had talked about if you found a roommate seizing, you wouldn't be worried about being labeled a snitch. You had been asked that question.
Yes.
What if you found someone laying in their own blood?
If you were to go notify staff immediately, there's the potential that you could be labeled a snitch based on the type of altercation that had occurred and who was involved.
All right, and then you had also mentioned, you were kind of talking about their behavior with Manzanares and Gutierrez. What did you observe specifically that made you think that they were checking in on the victim?
Because it was like they would go around kind of talking. There was a little bit of more pep in their step, if you will, especially with Gutierrez. You can see and it appeared that their physical body language was that they were like concerned because they would go back and look in there and then come back, talk to somebody else and then go back and look. And it like that was pretty repetitive until they finally, it appeared to me that it was like, oh, he's not getting any better. I better notify staff.
And were Manzanares and Gutierrez present when staff arrived to assist?
Yes.
I don't have any further questions, Your Honor.
All right. This witness be released.
Questions?
Good call, Mr. Kenny. Are there any questions that the jury has for this witness? Don't believe there are any. Can this witness be released at this time?
No
Yes.
objection.
All right. You can step down, Lieutenant. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Can I have the parties approach?
She's telling them, if you make us watch this video one more time, you're both getting contempt of court. Yes, soup, Monica. So the guy, his whole defense right now is he was only trying to bring soup to the victim. That's why he didn't do anything wrong. He was just delivering soup. But nobody saw any soup. I mean, it could have worked. You don't know. The jury, they might go for that. What if they love
Ladies
soup?
and gentlemen, there will always come some times where I need to have you step out of the room so we can address some things outside of your presence and really so we can have a longer conversation about some things pertaining to the law that just isn't appropriate for you to make your deliberations based on. With that, I am going to ask that you go back to the jury room for a few minutes. We'll try and wrap this up quickly so that we can get you back in here, but utilize the time for that restroom break if you need to take one. Thank you. All right, just so that our record is clear, I'm just repeating myself because I'm still concerned that not everything's captured with the white noise up here. Just want to make a record that based on the evidence that the court has seen thus far today, I am finding that Mr. Manzanares could be exposed to criminal liability, and I would be appointed advisory counsel prior to his testimony, unless there is a record from the district attorney's office regarding that criminal liability. Ms. Bischoff or Ms. Turner?
I think we're probably anticipating offering some type of immunity to Mr. Manzanares, but I need to talk to Mr. Lindsay. We're going to need to get something in writing if we're going to do that. So it's going to take a little bit of time.
All right. Is that something we need to make a recess on, or, I mean, I don't want to delay the jury. This is something that should have been predicted, quite frankly, from.
We have other witnesses here.
Okay.
But maybe we could take a quick break and I could just get the ball rolling.
I don't have an issue with that. I just ask that the parties be back at 2:20 and I'll take any further records at that time. All right. Thank you. All right, we are back on the record in 24 CR 288. All parties are
What would
present.
his
back-
crime be? What would be the name of his charge? So he was the roommate. He saw the victim injured and didn't tell anybody for 20, 30 minutes. So what is that charge?
Before the court. Is there any additional record that the prosecution needs to make at this time?
We're just going to briefly skip over Mr. Manzanares. We got another witness here in the back of the courtroom.
Okay. And I will let the parties know I did receive word that I do have advisory counsel available as well.
Okay.
Mr. Ledoux. And I just, out of an abundance of caution, at least for explanation of the immunity agreement too, I think that would be appropriate. Okay. Mr. Canny, is there any record that you wanted to make at this time?
No, thank you.
All right. Are we good to have the jury back in then?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
You guys representing a different.
Oh, then we're all guilty, JK, because Bobby clearly needs assistance. And all of us has failed to render it.
All right, everyone can be seated. Thank you. The jury is back in the courtroom. Thank you for your patience, ladies and gentlemen. We are prepared to resume this afternoon, but again, if at any point anyone needs a restroom break, please just bring it to our attention. Ms. Bischoff, the people's next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, the people would call Stephen Logri.
Mr. Rogri, if you'll come up to the witness stand.
Just flip your report upside down.
Sir, I'll have you raise your right hand.
Okay.
Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to provide this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Right. Your witness, Ms. Bischoff.
Thank you, Your Honor. Can you state your name for the record and spell your last name?
My name is Stephen T. Logry. That's Logry.
And how are you employed?
Through the Department of Correction at Fremont Correctional Facility.
How long have you been with the Department of Corrections?
25, almost
Not if you render assistance by knocking his teeth out. Uh-huh.
26 years.
And throughout your almost 26 years, what different positions have you held?
Officer, sergeant, lieutenant, and now I'm a teacher. for CMI Cleaning Management Institute, and I do ocean tank construction and Acceleron with the students.
Okay. And are the students the inmates?
Yes.
Okay. On August 8th of 2023, what position did you hold with the Department of Corrections?
I think I was a teacher at that time. Yeah, I guess 3 years ago. Yep.
Were you, on that date, were you assigned to work though in the control center?
Yes, I was, ABC side.
Okay, and what does that mean?
That means you're multitasking all the time. You're taking care of pods A, B, and C. Anything people go in or out, you have to know that.
Michael, you're not crazy. YouTube just gave me a error about my sound, but I hear it fine. I don't know what's going on.
You also hold them, the offenders, to post-operational rules. They can't be walking around with their shirts off and stuff like that, showing their gang, because then that starts a fight and everything else. So they have to follow the post-operational rules. So we are attentive, or when our staff goes in, we got to follow our staff while they're doing rounds and stuff like that. Very, very secure job that you need to be aware and know what everything is going on in those pods, because you're responsible for everything that goes on in those pods.
And how long did you work,
Monica, thank you for the cheers. Thank you.
I guess, throughout your time in the Department of Corrections, how long did you work in the control center position?
All the time. I was actually the move sergeant and the officer when I worked as security or as DLC staff. I ran to Cell House 2 until I went to become a teacher. So,
And were you working was it the Fremont Correctional Center while you were doing that?
yes.
Or Fremont Correctional Facility?
Accessory to murder. Uh-huh. That's good punishment there.
Sorry.
Yeah, Cells 2 is my unit. Yep.
Okay. And so you were you controlling then pod A, B, and C at that time?
Yes.
Okay. And so are you the only staff person in the control center at any given time?
Yes. And
Kelly, thank you so much. Yep, we'll be back tomorrow to finish this. And then we'll break until Sunday night. Michael, thank you so much. I appreciate it, Michael.
that side, there's another one on the other side, should they need assistance. Yep.
And is that for D, E, and F?
Yep. D, E, and F.
Okay. And on August 8th of 2023, around 5:30 p.m., were you in the control center?
Yes.
And that's the ABC Control Center?
Yes.
Did anything catch your attention at that time?
Yeah. People were always moving. It's dinner time. It's crazy. I mean, we're multitasking and we said 3 or 4 things at the same time. Now when it's meal time, it's crazy because you got people coming in and out and in and out, and you're still responsible for them coming in and out and where they're going. So it's real crazy. I had 2 guys come out, and one of them said, my cellie in B8 is he's having a seizure and stuff's coming out of his mouth, and I don't even know if he's breathing. So I called first responders immediately. That's protocol. So.
And you said he specifically said his cellie in B8?
Yeah, and B8.
So is that pod B cell 8?
Yep.
Okay. And that's how they refer to their cells then, is by the
Yes.
pod letter followed by the cell number?
Yes.
Okay. And you said you immediately called first responders?
Yes.
And what happens when you immediately call first responders?
Everybody on the west side that is a responder reports, and everybody on the floor in our unit also comes right away. Officer Camrad came immediately, like within a minute, because she was out front watching movement. Because at chow time we have to have one outside watching movement and one in the chow hall, because we know who they are and can help with that situation. Well, anyway, she came in right away. I think with like 5:31, she was there. She stopped at the pod or at B8 and for a second, and then she went in, and I was like, okay, we're thinking medical seizure, stuff like that. Then at about 5:33, the rest of the first responders were there, and we had enough people I let in, and, you know, because it's medical, we're thinking seizure.
And just to pause you right there, you keep referring to that you thought it was medical. Is there a different type of response for a medical call versus an assault?
No, there really isn't, but with an assault, we lock down the whole side immediately. So we're still trying to get people in and out, but security would then we're trying to get people out, medical could be there at the same time. The first responder would be there at the same time. So yeah, but what the difference is, I would have never let Officer Camrad go in by herself just to check on the seizure, because we have to have numbers to get before we open the door for them to respond to that B8.
Okay, and so you're saying that if you wouldn't, I guess in an assault situation, she would never have gone in alone?
No.
Okay, but in a medical situation, like a seizure, a report of a seizure, is it protocol to just send an officer in to get help right away?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's an essence for every minute, 10% of their life is gone. So we have to get them moving. And
Did Officer Comrade, did she report anything else? Did she request backup or other first responders to go to B8?
no, she came back out at the same time, first responders, and she was talking to them, but they all went in there together again. And then I had all the first responders there. Medical came in there shortly after. And so I turned like I said, I have a lot of duties up there. So I turned for 2 or 3 minutes to start putting people in their pods, because the vestibule was getting full. So we started putting A and C people in as fast as we could, and security was helping me. And then, go ahead, I'm sorry. Getting a little crazy here.
For B-Pod at that point, you've referred to Chow. Is that where they go for dinner?
Yeah, we call it dinner now, and breakfast and lunch and stuff, but at that time it was chow.
Okay. And so were you allowing other inmates then to come back into the B-Pod while the officers and the first responders were responding?
No, we had security holding them back outside, and letting C and A go until we could figure out what was going on.
Okay. And so did you hear anything else while you were there regarding first responders? Anything that caught your attention?
Yeah, what caught my attention, I heard we need
No, Kelly, she said she likes nudes. Nudes.
AMR. So I'm thinking, oh, great. This guy must have had a really bad seizure, or grandma's here, or whatever. So I was like, okay. So I glanced over there. They're all in B8. So then I said, well, I got to get all these people in here still, because there's again filling up. So I was working on that for about 2 or 3 minutes again, keeping my eye on over there, see if they need anything. Because if they come out, then I got to open that door immediately, because like I said, it's life or death sometimes.
Did anyone, at any point, did you hear any commands to lock down?
Not until, yeah, I did. I heard somebody say on the radio, we need to lock down. This is a crime scene.
And
So
what
then
does that mean?
That means I lock everybody A, B, and C completely down. So then so we waited till, I think it was like, we waited till medical and the first responders left with him. And then, we took everybody else, put them in the pods. As soon as they leave B8, I locked it down as a crime scene. And then we got all the other offenders into A, B, and C, and then I locked the whole side down.
And so are you able to lock individual cell doors?
Yes,
And that's through the control center?
yes.
Okay. And you said that they got him out on a backboard. Was that Adrian Littlebear?
Yes, it was Little Bear. They put him on a backboard to get him out of the room because the doors are kind of narrow. And then they put him on a gurney, and then they came to the door. I let them through. Actually, I have the door open ahead of times because they're moving.
Did you see Mr. Littlebear?
I didn't see him at all.
And did you have any other kind of responses that you had to do as part of this case?
Well, I had to write a report, which is right there, and you guys have it. I had a report, because they came back and they did other stuff. Obviously knuckle checks and all that and checking everything and, had a report on 7 or 8 other people that might be possible suspects. And yeah, that's pretty much the sum of it.
So did you stay in the control center throughout this entire incident then?
Yep.
All right. I don't have any further questions, Your Honor.
Any cross-examination of this?
Questions?
All right. Mr. Lover, you can step down then. Thank you. Can this witness be released at this time?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Lover, you can be released as to your subpoena as well. Thank you. Prosecution's next witness.
People call Cyrus Youngs.
Mr. Youngs, I'll have you come up to the witness stand up here. I'll have you raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to provide this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? You can be seated. Your witness, Ms. Bischoff.
Thank you, Your Honor. Could you state your name and spell your last name, please?
Cyrus Youngs, Y-O-U-N-G-S.
And where do you work and what's the nature of your employment?
I am a major at the Colorado Department of Corrections. I'm currently the Administrative Services Manager at Fremont Correctional Facility.
Okay, what's a major?
A major is a manager of a specific area, unit, or division.
And on August 8th, 2023, were you a captain at Fremont Correctional Facility?
Was.
So what's the difference between a captain and a major?
A captain is a second level supervisor. It's a lot of times they're a shift commander, which is what I was that day. They supervise a smaller area than a major does. Typically, they will run a shift or run a housing unit or a specific unit.
Okay. So on August 8th, 2023, then you were working as a shift commander. Is that
Yes, I
correct? Okay. And what was the area that you were commanding at that time?
So it was Fremont Correctional Facility. It was swing shift from approximately 1:45 to approximately 10:15 at night. At the time, I think our staffing pattern was 50 staff. And it is, the function of the shift commander is to run all operations for the tour of duty in the entire prison.
Okay. And so can you just give us sort of an overview of how Fremont Correctional Facility is set up?
Yes. So Fremont Correctional Facility, in the 1960s, it was known as medium security. It was built originally with a population of like 250. It's expanded multiple times since then. It's got a population of somewhere around 15 to 1,600 right now. There are 8 housing units. In the old section, they're incentive housing units, the big old 3-tier long cell houses that everyone has seen in movies. It was merged with Shadow Mountain Correctional Facility in the 1990s, which was right next door, which is now the west side of Fremont Correctional Facility. It was a close custody facility at that time. It's now a mixed use facility with close custody inmates and medium custody inmates. We have lots of programming, lots of industries, general housing units, all kinds of stuff. We've got really varied missions.
So is a living unit the same as a housing unit?
Yes, those terms are interchangeable.
So at about 5:30 on August 8th, 2023, did you hear a first responder called a living unit 2 regarding a possible seizure?
I did. Yes.
So would you have been in charge of the response to that at that time?
I was the shift supervisor. Since I was the shift commander, I was ultimately responsible. I heard it. I believe Lieutenant Lesser was in the shift commander's office with me at that point. And the shift commander many times doesn't respond to a medical problem unless the complexity of the incident requires the shift commander's on-scene command, I guess. And so I remember hearing it, yes.
Well, did you get further information that made you decide to respond to living unit 2?
Yes, I did. I heard that they were talking about a possible medical problem. Then when my yard staff, who are the staff who run operations for the shift commander, when they got on scene, one of the sergeants called me directly on the radio and said, Captain Youngs, this isn't a medical problem. This appears to be a serious assault. We need you down here.
Okay. Then what did you go then?
Lieutenant Lesser and I then left the shift commander's office and walked across the west side of the facility to Living Unit 2.
Okay. Were you able to get briefed or to assess what was going on when you got there?
I heard on the radio as I was responding, if I recall correctly, that medical staff were on scene. I could tell by the voices over the radio that there was a serious incident going on. And they had requested, I don't remember exactly when, I think it was when I was walking across the yard, medical staff on scene had requested an ambulance be directly taken to Living Unit 2.
Okay. What do you mean by serious incident? What's considered a serious incident in the Department of Corrections?
Well, what in the context that I was speaking of is I heard people on the radio talking a little more frantically than they normally did. It was something that seemed, based on the radio transmissions, was out of the ordinary, and I could tell that my staff were navigating the issue, but I could hear the seriousness in their voices.
Okay. So did someone contact AMR at that time?
I believe I directed Master Control to contact AMR, which is the protocol, the typical protocol for that.
All right. And then what did you do?
When that happened, I remember I ordered the facility on modified operations. I don't recall if we had started the evening meal yet or not. I think we had just barely started when the first responder call happened. And I ordered that to stop. I ordered all inmates to be on pod restrictions, which is similar to a lockdown, but it's not where everyone's in their cell. It's where they're confined to their normal living area, but it's a little larger area than their cell.
Why did you order the evening meal to stop?
Because on the west side of the facility where the dining halls are, if we were bringing a vehicle into the secure perimeter where people could get a hold of it, I didn't want this to be a possible escape attempt or a false flag operation to divert our attention to get a vehicle in the compound where we might have real problems if someone got a vehicle.
Okay. So then were you able to determine where the assault had occurred at, where your crime scenes potentially were at?
When I walked into Living Unit 2, I don't remember exactly what pod or what side of the cell house it was on because they have separate entrances. I remember when I walked into the living unit, I believe that they were just bringing our victim out on a backboard out of the cell or they were on the top tier and beginning to bring him down the stairs. It was right in that time period, so I'm not sure exactly where they were, but we knew where the cell was, and the staff were either just coming out or had just exited, so I was able to see where at least that crime scene was.
All right. So were you able to secure the crime scene and possible suspects?
We got the unit locked down. I know that I initially ordered Living Unit 2 locked down. As more information came to light, I was briefed, and I believe that the warden and the management team were briefed by Lieutenant Lesser. And we expanded the modified operations area to include Living Unit 3 because we had seen on video, or he reported to me that he had seen on video that at least one of our suspects was from Living Unit 3.
Okay. So what happened did you have any interaction yourself with the victim or the possible suspects?
When the victim was being brought down the stairs, I looked at him and I could tell that he was seriously injured. I think at that point I used the shift commander's phone to take a couple of pictures of his face to get to the management team. And so everyone was tracking as to how serious of an incident we had going on at the time.
What kind of injuries were you seeing that were obviously serious?
I couldn't recognize who the person was. I don't know if I knew him outside of that brief interaction. He was horribly swollen. It looked like he had been seriously beaten.
So did you at that time feel that there had been an assault? Did you feel certain of that?
I believe that the likelihood was great that there had been an assault, yes.
Okay. So what happened to the potential suspects at that point?
Later, we had suspended the evening meal for a time. Lieutenant Lesser was reviewing video, trying to get a suspect information. As we got suspect information and we were able to identify people, I directed that staff report to the areas, locate the individuals, place them in restraints, and escort them to restrictive housing.
What's restrictive housing?
Restrictive housing is a management unit. It's kind of like it's the old segregation. It's where people are locked down in their cells 23 hours a day. They come out for an hour of recreation and a shower each day. It's the most restrictive environment that the Department of Corrections currently has.
Okay. So, and do you know the actual suspects involved, or were you just directing these suspects go to restrictive housing?
I remember that we had discussed in the moment the identity of the suspects. I don't recall what they were. I knew them at the time, and I had specifically directed that they be placed in restrictive housing or escorted to restrictive housing. But I didn't know who they were, and I don't believe I went and interacted with any of them that night.
When you say we, do you mean yourself and Lieutenant Lesser?
Lieutenant Lesser, Lieutenant Espinoza, Lieutenant Stice was on duty that night. Lieutenant Torres was on duty as the relief shift commander, the operations lieutenant. We were making those decisions as a supervisory team, and I was utilizing the shift commander's phone to contact the management team and brief them as to what we were finding and how the incident was going.
Okay. Did that process of sending the suspects to restrictive housing, did you follow through with that process?
We did. As as we identified suspects and got them escorted over, at some point, I had directed that they be escorted to restrictive housing.
I personally feel JK is right. I just do. The soup was there, he slipped on it, and it was an accident.
There was a miscommunication. The staff who were escorting them didn't get the order from me that they needed to remain on direct observation in restraints prior to completing strip searches as part of the restrictive housing process. At some point, I was briefed by some lieutenant, and I don't know who, that they were strip searching our suspects. And I think I made a radio announcement that said, stop that immediately. I wanted them escorted to Living Unit 5 and under direct observation until Office of Inspector General investigators arrived, because it was going to be their case. And I didn't want a strip search to affect any physical evidence that might be on our suspects' persons.
Okay, so you directed that process stop and they go to direct observation.
I did.
Okay. Was that the extent of your involvement?
I was in charge of operations that night, so we did a lot with the facility. I escorted OIG investigators to some of our crime scene areas. I changed assignments on staff because I could see from the injuries that our victim was seriously injured and was likely going to be, flown out. So I changed staff assignments so I could make sure that staff who were with our victim would be able to hop on a helicopter and go to whatever hospital they went to, if Mr. Little Bear survived long enough to make it to the hospital.
Okay. I don't have any other questions. Thank you.
Any cross-examination,
No,
Mr.
Judge.
County? Any questions from the jury for this witness? Mr. Youngs, then you can step down. Can this witness be released at this time?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Youngs. Ms. Bischoff or Ms. Turner, your next witness?
People call Leah Easton.
I think we're going to start with this witness tomorrow. I think we're going to stop it here today. We'll do Leah Eastman, is that what she said? We'll do that tomorrow. We got an hour and 20 minutes left before we hear the verdict. And we talk a lot sometimes, so I gotta allow room for talking, unless I fall asleep while we're watching it tomorrow. There's a 50-50 chance I talk too much or I fall asleep. Guys, thank you so much for coming out today. I appreciate it. Go eat some cold soup today, and I will see you all in 22 hours. Behave, okay? Bye. Have a good night. Bye, guys.
Well, I thought I'd write a happy song. I found a chat room where I belong. You don't know how much it means to me. With such a groove, I'm less lonely. Oh, Kathy's the creator, she's leading the way. At Court Vibes, we laugh and we stay. Her smile shines bright, she's got that grace. Come join the fun, it's a welcome and play. her joy she can't hide. Oh, Kathy's the creator, she's leading the way. At Court Vibes, we laugh and we stay. Her style is classy, she's always top shelf. Don't take my word, come and see for yourself. Her cases are new with a twist or two. I really like them, I believe you will too. A little lifeline passed along in rhyme. Why don't you join us? It's a guaranteed good time. Oh, Kathy's the creator, she's leading the way. At Court Vibes, we laugh and we stay. Her smile shines bright, she's got that grace. Come join the fun, it's a welcoming place. And so in conclusion, I'll wrap up this song. I hope I didn't miss anything that would be wrong. Hope I see you around. Don't stay on the shelf, join in the laughter. Come and see for yourself.